Happy Sunday night. Welcome to Ask Away. Sorry this is late. I've been trying for the past 20 minutes to get this to deal with the workaround patch. Now that Facebook has eliminated live streaming into Facebook groups because that makes business sense, I'm sure. Mark Zuckerberg, you're an idiot. Thank you. Anyway, so I am here. Going to try this here. We didn't really have any questions tonight, but I wanted to talk a little bit about running in the heat, and because I am not touching what's happened in the world this week. Like, there is no point. You guys are seeing that everywhere anyway. Thoughts and prayers is all I got. But if you are running in the heat, if you are taking activity in context right now, you're going to need more than thoughts and prayers to get through a run. You're going to need water and electrolytes. Here is the thing about running in the heat. Sorry, as I try to sit back, still getting used to my new haircut. Here's the thing about running in the heat. When you're running above 80 degrees, you're going to be sweating a lot more. You're going to be needing a lot more salt. And hydration is not just because salt is what causes your body to retain fluid, right? So you're going to need more of anything that helps you retain it. Past a certain point of heat, anything you put in is coming right back out. Your body isn't actually holding on to it. You need potassium, you need iodine, you need iodized table salt, you need Himalayan salt. I mean, from the grocery store, it's a little more expensive for sure. You don't have to go buy the pink, pretty fancy stuff, but you do need salts. And you need a lot of it in your liquid. Hydration is a process. It's not a thing that we do one time. I had a drink that was funny. Hydration is an ongoing process. And when we're talking about hydration, it's not sexy and it's not fun because we're talking about your colon. It's huge. It's about a mile long. Maybe not a mile long. I'm exaggerating. But like if you were to stretch it out, there's just a lot more in here that you have to think about at any given time. And when a person is dehydrated, what it's saying is there's not enough water in your colon for digestion to work because that's the process that gives you energy. So if you, one glass of water is not going to cut it, one glass of water and waiting an hour is not going to cut it. It's an ongoing process during a time like this. Here in Denver, we've had incredibly high heat for the past 2 weeks. It's going to get worse over the course of the next week before it drops back down to just normal, annoying summer highs and not, oh my God, it's too hot to get in a swimsuit, in a swimming pool sort of heat. That heat is different. But for now, what you need to know is this. Please run early in the morning. Early in the morning is going to be the best because you would have had time to cool down overnight. I understand in places that are very humid, the morning is the literal worst, and that's fine. Can you go inside? Can you work out inside? Can you please get on a treadmill? Anything is better than being outside in the heat because, back to my earlier point, above like 95 degrees, when it's above 95 outside, real feel, you are not, and especially if you're in high humidity, then your skin is losing more moisture than it's able to take in a reasonable period of time, meaning you could be doing a day's worth of dehydration and damage in a very short period, like 30 to 40 minutes. So if you're going to be outside, let's try to limit it. Let's try not to make it in the bright heat of the day. You don't get a bigger medal for training in harder conditions. I know a lot of people were taught that by really toxic coaches you had in high school. I don't care how good they were at their job or how many things you won. If they had you running in the heat of the day telling you it was good for you, that was toxic. It was terrible. And it's scientifically inaccurate. So, I will die on this hill and I will argue it all day long because God knows there are other hills that are less rewarding than man be on their bullshit and have been on their bullshit just a little too long, and is how much it hurt children. But I tell you that to say you this: take water with you. Start drinking water a couple days before. If you have issues with sugar and glucose tolerance issues like I do, I gave everyone a recipe a long time ago for a homemade sports drink. It's one that I swear by. It's one I still use. I take water. I add a small squeeze, like literally just the smallest squeeze I can get away with, of honey, a large sprinkle of sea salt, and then half a lime, and I shake it all up. Sometimes 5-time, I'll put mint in there if I'm going to let it sit overnight, because mint is really terrific, and it also aids with digestion and aids with everything happening down in here that you don't like to think about. So with that, that's usually enough to get you through a run. But this is the time when it's above 100 outside, when I've already told you anything that 90 real feel 95 is bad, anything 105 is worse, way worse. So that means you're going to have to do more to keep your body at normal hydration levels. So that means when you come back in, take a bath with lots of magnesium, Epsom salts. Make sure that your foods you're eating have water in them. And by that, I mean vegetables. Salads are pretty good. What's even better are frozen vegetables that your body will not have to spend a lot of its own energy converting that food into energy. Canned green beans are really great. Frozen green beans are really great. Smoothies are terrific. But this is the time. But again, be careful with the sugar consumption. And here's why. Earlier this week, Coach Amy from Runner Interrupted, she and I were talking in a group chat about the heat. And she's like, oh, I'm fine. I've got Scratch. And I was like, oh, Scratch is delicious, but it has a lot of sugar in it. So anyone who isn't an ultra runner tends to find out as they drink their first bottle of Scratch that if you aren't used to it, it's going to make you poop a lot. It's going to give you a lot of GI distress. And Amy was like, you could have told me that 20 minutes ago. I think I got her a little bit too late. But now you know, and knowing it's half the battle. I'm not saying sugar is bad. I am saying that sugar in a dehydrated body will absolutely cause GI distress. So let's try to avoid things with sugar. A little bit of honey. Yes, I understand that honey is chemically the same as sugar, but you're going to use a lot less of it because it's hard to use. When you're buying it pre-mixed, you're not paying attention to how much is in there. When you're mixing it yourself, there's only so much you're going to do to get the dang honey out that bottle. It's annoying, and that's why I choose it, and that's why I use it, and that's why I suggest it. As little honey as possible, a little bit of sea salt, lime. Plain water's fine. Coconut water's better. I know a lot of you don't like the taste, and that's fine too. But let's try to avoid Splenda as well. Splenda is the thing that I think is going to probably be banned in the next 10 years. It makes me ridiculously sick. I'm not convinced it's good for anybody. Just because we've stripped the thing that makes your blood sugar out of this thing that my body can't digest doesn't mean de facto what's left behind is a good idea. I don't know, but now might not be the time to go to high Splenda concentrations either. And then at the end of the day, mint, throw that into whatever you're is cooking overnight, because mint is wonderful and it's good for you and good for your body. So that's really what I have to say about heat. Be extra good to yourself. Get a little bit extra sleep. If you can, spend a little more time sitting down or lying down in bed, because, again, you're going to need it. Functioning is hard, especially in an apocalypse at the end times, end stage capitalism, wherever we are right now. But also it is harder to function literally in the heat. It takes more energy to keep your body for your body to maintain homeostasis when it's fighting extreme temperatures. So let's try to stay in the shade as much as possible, stay cool as much as possible. Let's make good choices whenever possible. And frankly, the best choice I think a person can make right now is either to skip the run or run inside if that's available to you. Because, and I say this is somebody who was really excited to get walking again when I came back to Denver, only realized it was 102 in Denver. Guess who's not going for a walk today or tomorrow or probably the next day? Thursday's the first day I'll think about it, because it's supposed to be in the 80s. I will think about it if I get up early after I take the kids to camp. There we go. That is what I think about that. I hope you have a wonderful week. I hope that wherever you are, it is not too hot to get in a swimming pool. Thinking of you, Karina Terry. I saw that on Facebook about how all the pools in Henderson, Nevada were closed because it was dangerous to get in them. And I'm like, well, that is something I never thought of. I hope you're safe. I hope everybody else is okay. I hope you are loved. I hope you feel coached and loved. I hope you are winning at life wherever you are. And I hope that you are not in a position to wake up one day and say, cut it off, where a haircut feels like it'll be a solution, because it's not a solution, but it does feel really good in this heat. Final note, if you are a sorority girl or not a sorority girl, don't really care. What I do care about is Coach Nakia, who was just elected to the national board of her sorority. She's only the second Black woman in history to be slated to the National Council. Sorry, I forgot the verb, to be slated for the National Council. I'm proud of her. You're proud of her too. Let's everyone take a moment to say big congratulations to Coach Zakia. Big congratulations to everyone who did anything this week. Congratulations, Trish Thorm and her new home of Providence. I'm coming to visit you, Trisha Thorm. I don't think you understand how much I'm not joking about that. I love Providence. It's one of my favorite cities, and you're one of my favorite people, so it's going to have to happen. And Carrie Ann Becker, I'm going to come visit you too in that same trip. I need to get the fall acting schedule from my oldest, and then I can start making proper plans. But I hope you have, you're coached, you are loved. I hope you know that. I hope you feel it. I hope you're winning at life, and I hope you have a wonderful week. And last note, I'm not ashamed of this. Got some family drama going on at the moment, and I am leaning into it all the way. So if my Facebook page, you probably don't need to be there for another week or two until I've told literally every single one of them to off as publicly as possible. So yeah, that's happening. Please don't think ever, if you see anything going up, any of the posts that I make seem out of character for me, please don't ever think they have anything to do with you. They don't. They know who I'm talking to. And at some point, I'll be finished with that conversation, but that's not going to be this week or next. Yay. Hope you have a wonderful week, and we will speak soon. Just not on my Facebook.